Do you think if not an actor, you would have been a cop?
I'd never thought about that in that sense until I became a cop for the third time. But yes, there was a joke that we cracked in the beginning of the show. Like I think इसके बाद अगर मैं एक और बार cop बना ना, तो I think मुझे uniform बनवा खाकी एक घर पे बना के रखनी पड़ेगी और मुझे पुलिस से permission लेके मैं वो use करूँगा उस चीज़ को. रूपाली जी हैं, सुधांशु हैं. सुधांशु जी हैं, गौरव हैं. गौरव एंड आई वी गो लॉन्ग टाइम बैक. रूपाली जी को मैं भी मिला था स्टार परिवार में. सुधांशु जी को भी मैं उधर ही मिला. एंड वेर ऑल, आई मीन इट्स जैसे परिवार बोलते हैं ना, स्टार परिवार है. सो वी ऑल बिकेम अ बिग परिवार ओवर देयर वंस वी मेट ओवर देयर. सो देयर इज अ हेल्दी कॉम्पिटिशन ऑफ डूइंग अ गुड जॉब. That's a competition.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned, I don't view it as कि यार मुझे इनको बीट करना है. So I've seen the highs, I've seen the lows, I've seen like plain abyss. There's nothing. Then I've seen moments of financial crisis. Even to Aishwarya, I had not proposed.
What?
So after our marriage, I proposed on stage.
But then उससे पहले?
So it was never a proposal. It was we both knew that what we feel for each other.
Hello and welcome to News 18 Showsha. I am Chirag, Sehgal, and our guest today is very talented, very popular, and very smart, Neil Bhatt. Thank you so much, Neil, for joining us. How are you?
Thank you for having me, and you're far too kind. It's a pleasure being over here.
Neil, Virat has become such a popular character. जब आप बाहर जाते हो, do people recognize you as Neil, or are they like, अरे देखो विराट आ गया?
So yeah, it's both the ways. Synonymous है. लोग कभी-कभी पहले विराट की तरह पहचानते हैं और फिर दे शिफ्ट हो. आप तो नील हो ना, आप वही नील हो ना जो विराट है. And it's like either way.
Yeah.
Like आप तो वही विराट हो ना जो नील है. So either way, there's recognition, and I'm indebted to Star Plus and Cockroach and Shaika Productions, at the same time Ghum Kisike Pyaar Meiin, for making this character so widely reachable.
But is this much of popularity also troublesome sometimes? कभी होता है आप और ऐश्वर्या बाहर गए हो, you're on a date, and then suddenly there's a crowd of people coming कि please हमें एक picture दे दो.
It's never troublesome because that's what we are working for.
Yeah.
एंड ये नहीं करेंगे तो मतलब इस चीज़ के लिए काम करता है एक आर्टिस्ट कि लोग आए, अपना प्यार दिखाएं. हम कब उनसे मिलेंगे ऐसे तो either there's a meet and greet, but that's still a formal setup where you're going on a stage, you're talking to people, and still those people, they can see you, they can click pictures of you, but they will never be able to come up to you and talk to you personally. So ऐसे जो मौके होते हैं जब हम लोग we're out and about as normal people, हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं कि आम आदमी की तरह ही हम जाते हैं, कैफ़ेज़ में जाते हैं, रेस्टोरेंट्स में जाते हैं, थिएटर्स में जाते हैं, एंड बैठते हैं, फिल्में देखते हैं, बट लोग रिकग्नाइज करते हैं. दे कम अप टू अस, दे ट्राई टू हैव अ कॉन्वर्सेशन, दे ट्राई टू शो देयर लव, हाउ मच दे लव द कैरेक्टर, हाउ मच दे love the show. Sometimes they have so many inputs and they're so valuable and they're so and that just makes us think कितना impact होता है एक प्रोजेक्ट से, कितने लोग चीज़ें देख रहे हैं, समझ रहे हैं, and it just makes us feel happy that people are connecting to our roles and to the show.
But what is the sweetest fan moment that has ever happened with you?
We had just gotten married and हम लोग we were sitting at a cafe, Aishwarya and I, and someone came up to us and they're like, "This is so sorry to disturb. I know you guys just got married. Lots of blessings first of all." It was a middle-aged lady.
Yeah.
And she had lots of blessings to you all. And I also wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate for your show and everything. आप लोग को बहुत सारी success मिले, बहुत सारा प्यार मिले. एंड आई मीन आई थिंक ऐसी ही ब्लेसिंग्स की वजह से ये शो इतना अच्छा कर रहा है, बिकॉज दिल से लोग इस शो को पसंद कर रहे हैं, दिल से इस शो को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. सो आई एम जस्ट वेरी हैप्पी. सो आई थिंक दैट वाज वन ऑफ माय स्वीटेस्ट मोमेंट्स वेयर आउट ऑफ द वे समवन वेंट एंड had to say something like this. First of all, making a personal comment which meant so much to us, and then moving on to the show. And I made sure I told everybody on the set, like, this is what we were told. And there's so much of love outside. When because हम लोगों ने कोविड के टाइम पे शूट शुरू किया था, जब आफ्टर following all the government regulations and guidelines जो भी थे, and in those guidelines we were not allowed to go out for promotions and meeting and greeting fans. So we never got to know, even though there were ratings, there were numbers, but we never got to know the real popularity or the real reach of the show. So now that we get to go out, now that we get to meet people outside, we get to know there's so much of love outside for the show.
Yeah.
So we're just very happy.
But like you mentioned, people give suggestions और बहुत logical suggestions कई बार देते हैं. कभी होता है when you have come back on the sets and be like, yeah, I met somebody, he was telling me this, maybe we should try doing it.
I have always done that. I always pass on the suggestions that I get by normal people when I meet them. When I get these fans and when they tell me, नील, हमें लगता था हमें ऐसा होना चाहिए था, ऐसा होना चाहिए, ऐसा करना चाहिए. I'm like, that's a valuable thing. It's a suggestion and I should let them know.
Yeah.
And we don't have any control over any of the content that comes on air, because honestly I think there are lots of people, very talented people on the writing team and the maker, like जैसे makers बोला जाता है, तो उस टीम पे बहुत सारे talented लोग हैं, बहुत सारे ज़्यादा experienced लोग हैं, so they know better what to do with the story. But एक audience feedback जो होता है, live audience feedback जो होता है, I'm not talking about what we read every day and everything, but जो लोग टीवी पे बैठ के, जो टीवी ऑडियंस जैसे बोलते हैं, जो टीवी पे बैठ के देख रही है, वो लोग जब बैठते हैं और बताते हैं हमें कि ये चाहिए, वैसा होना चाहिए था, विराट को ऐसा करना चाहिए था, सही को ऐसा करना चाहिए था, ये जो हुआ ना ये सही हुआ, पाखी ने जो ये किया ये ऐसा था वैसा था, व्हाटएवर, मतलब जो भी इनके जो फीडबैक्स होते हैं, ये मैं जाके बोल तो देता हूँ, बाद में इट्स अप टू देम व्हाट टू डू अबाउट इट, बट आई मेक श्योर आई ऑलवेज गिव इट, लेट देम नो.
You're playing a cop in this show, and this is the third time.
Oh yes.
Your third show जिसमें you're playing a cop. Do you think if not an actor you would have been a cop?
I'd never thought about that in that sense until I became a cop for the third time. But yes, there was a joke that we cracked in the beginning of the show. Like I think इसके बाद अगर मैं एक और बार cop बना ना, तो I think मुझे यूनिफॉर्म बनवा, खाकी एक घर पे बना के रखनी पड़ेगी, और मुझे पुलिस से परमिशन लेके मैं वो यूज़ करूँगा उस चीज़ को. But I only if only it was so easy to become a cop. I mean, you're supposed to give your exams and so many things. So yeah.
Has this ever happened कि you're not on set, कहीं भी बाहर, but you're so much into your role that you start to act like a cop, and then suddenly you realize, oh no, I'm not.
No, never. I mean, it's switch on, switch off for me. So once it's done, I'm done from here. I mean, Virat is limited to the boundaries of this set. So beyond this, I'm not Virat. I mean, even after the shot is cut, I'm not Virat.
Yeah.
So that scenario I don't think would ever arise, because that's not how I function as an artist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ghum Kisike Pyaar Meiin has had a very interesting journey. पिछले 2 सालों में it has been on the top of the TRP charts on number 2.
Yeah.
Do you feel pressurized कि एक ऊपर और पहुंच जाओ?
I'm never pressurized by numbers or by where the show is placed right now. I have a simple approach towards my work and towards all these things. I mean, having spent it's now my 15th year in this industry.
Yeah.
So it's not a very long time, but it's not a very short time either. So one thing I've understood is ratings are going to keep coming. I mean, वो कभी show ऊपर होगा, कभी show नीचे होगा. And that cannot decide my happiness or my sadness, for that matter. I should be able to sleep peacefully.
Yeah.
Every night. So that can only be achieved if I'm happy with my work. And that will happen only if I give my 100% away on the set. That's not to say that I'm not happy with where the show is. Obviously, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Because that boosts my crew's morale. People are happy on the set that the show is doing so well. It's going to go on for a longer time. And it happens to be one of my most successful shows. So I'm really happy being a part of it. But I wouldn't trouble myself for reaching number 1 or being on number 2 or sustaining that spot.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be there, but I will always strive for my own personal happiness so that I get to sleep properly.
Like Ghum Hai Kisike Pyaar Meiin has been on the number 2 of the TRP charts for almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
Similarly, Anupamaa has been on the top for a similar period of time.
Yes.
Do you guys feel competitiveness with that show?
No, not at all. I mean, Rupali ji hain, Sudhanshu hain, Sudhanshu ji hain, Gaurav hain. Gaurav and I, we go a long time back. Rupali ji को मैं भी मिला था स्टार परिवार में, सुधांशु जी को भी मैं उधर ही मिला. And we're all, I mean, it's जैसे परिवार बोलते हैं ना, स्टार परिवार है. So we all became a big परिवार over there once we met over there. So there's a healthy competition of doing a good job. That's a competition.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned, I don't view it as कि यार मुझे इनको बीट करना है. मेरा वो अप्रोच नहीं रहता है. I'm very laid back in that sense. I'm a little relaxed. I want to give a good shot. That's my approach. I want to make sure every shot I give, that stems from an interview that Amir sir had given. Amir Khan sir ने एक इंटरव्यू दिया था. उनके एक इंटरव्यू में उन्होंने बोला था कि आई थिंक हर आर्टिस्ट को एक ऐसा अपना हर शॉट ऐसे देना चाहिए जैसे कि वो उसकी ज़िंदगी का लास्ट शॉट है, तो ही वो उसको एकदम परफेक्शन के साथ, तो ही वो इतने दिल से वो देगा उस शॉट को. तो वो छप गया दिमाग में. एंड थैंकफुली मेरे करियर के एकदम बिगिनिंग में मैंने वो इंटरव्यू देख लिया था. आई डोंट रिमेंबर विच फिल्म वाज ही प्रमोटिंग एट दैट टाइम, बट समथिंग आई डोंट रिमेंबर वेरी वेल. धोबी घाट था, क्या था, आई डोंट रिमेंबर, शायद, आई डोंट नो. तभी मैंने वो देखा था इंटरव्यू. जब मैंने वो इंटरव्यू देखा तो वो लाइन जब से मैंने देखी तो वो चलती रहती है. सो इवन इफ इट्स अ स्मॉल शॉट, इट हैज़ टू बी परफेक्ट सो दैट इवन इफ आई एम नॉट देयर in this world after this shot, I should be happy, I gave a good shot.
Like Ghum Hai is immensely popular today, but the show has had its own ups and downs. There was a time when people called it regressive. There were boycott calls for a very short period of time, but there were indeed. In sab ke baad, did it ever impact you?
No, it never impacted me personally, never, because I per se don't have to take any calls in this. कि अगर ऐसा कुछ बोला जा रहा है, ऐसा कुछ है, कितना, first of all we tend to gauge things according to what is written in a certain platform, and that is never the representation of the whole audience. It may be a representation of a certain section of an audience, but this is completely my point of view. I'm not representing someone by saying this. I genuinely don't feel impacted or affected by it because none of it has to do with me. It has to be done at a level of who's taking the calls to make the show, who's taking the calls to write the story. So, ये information आती है और जाती है, and we still continue to do the show according to the way they had envisioned, the makers. They had envisioned a show in a certain way. They tried to stay true to whatever they had thought about it, and not for 1 second did they waver from that. And that was, I think, that needs conviction. So I just laud them for that. And for the audience who felt something like this, I think everybody, like जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना कि हमारी audience mature हो रही है, हमारी audience open हो रही है. So I think this is a very good time to just let things be. I mean, you may have a point of view, and there's nothing wrong in having a point of view, and I really respect everybody's point of view. मुझे कुछ गलत नहीं लगता जब कोई ऐसा बोलता है कि ऐसा है, हो सकता है, शायद आपको नजर आ रहा है और होगा भी शायद वैसा, पर ऐसा कई जगह हो रहा है शायद दुनिया में. इसलिए कहीं ना कहीं, because we say ना, film and television is in a way an imitation of reality. I'm not saying this is the reality of someone, but it's somewhere or the other inspired by some things that we read here and there, see somewhere here and there. So I think that's what a writer gets inspired by. I don't know. I'm just thinking on top of my head right now. I'm just talking and trying to have a conversation.
But in the recent times, we have seen this narrative prevailing that the content on television is regressive.
Okay.
Why do you think, where has this come from suddenly?
I have genuinely no idea. If that was the case, nothing would have worked. Something is working. I don't know what, but something is working. And what may be regressive for one may not be regressive for the other.
Yeah.
So if I don't like something, I will say I don't like this. But if I like something, like I like this. So it's as simple as that. What is the reason for it being called regressive and who's calling it? That needs to be seen.
Yeah.
And why is that person calling it regressive? Where is that person coming from? What is that person's thought process कि उसने इसको regressive बोल दिया? Television को मतलब television as a whole को regressive बोल दिया. हो सकता है कुछ content वैसा हो सकता है that didn't sit well with you or that person or with anyone. I don't know. I'm just an artist who's trying to do justice and give conviction to the script that has been given to me. It's a role, it's a character, it's a story. It's not a reality. So that's also a part of entertainment that I think we are missing I'm a part of that audience. Sometimes even I react. When I see something and it doesn't sit well with me, even I react. But then I think I should look at it as a form of entertainment. But then there's also a thin line. What should be allowed as entertainment and what not? I think that's a conversation for some other day. But as I said, what may be regressive for one may not be regressive for the other.
Like you mentioned, you have been in the industry for 15 years.
Yeah.
Like whether it was 12 Butter Chobbis, then Diya and Bati, Ghum Hai Kisike Pyaar Meiin. Was it a rocky ride for you?
Obviously. If not, I don't think I would have been... I think that's what's called experience. I've had these lull periods where I've not worked. Like it's been a year and a half, sometimes two. So those are the times because when you're shooting, you know you're gonna get a call time. You're gonna arrive on the set. You're gonna work, and you're gonna go back home. You're gonna be paid for that. So I've seen the highs. I've seen the lows. I've seen like plain abyss. There's nothing. Then I've seen moments of financial crisis. I've seen the mids. I've seen everything. So I've become nonchalant about everything. That's why I said ratings and all of these things don't matter to me as such.
Yeah.
I should be happy with my work. Because I've learned one thing is just be true to your job, true to your work. Just come on the set, work, and be happy you get that one day to work. I'm very happy that I get to come on the set. I get to work. That's it.
During the time, like you mentioned, jab kaam nahi tha for 1 year, 1.5 years, did that make you desperate to get work?
There are times, short period of times, where I'll tell you something about myself. I'm a very optimistic person. It's very difficult for Touchwood, but it's very difficult for me to feel depressed. I'm a very self-motivated person in that sense. So it doesn't come to me naturally that I become desperate about something. But yes, there were times when you need to pay bills, when you need to do things, you need to work. Money's not going to come out of thin air.
Yeah.
So you need to work. Then I've reached out, and I feel there's कोई शर्म नहीं है इसमें. कोई छोटा नहीं हो जाएगा अगर आप जाके काम मांग रहे हो. तो ये चीज़ नेसेसिटी जो होती है ना, वो हर एक को सच्चाई और रियलिटी सिखा देती है. And I've seen that phase, and I've reached out. Some people have really supported, some people haven't, and that's okay. Probably they have their own reasons. I don't have bad blood with anyone. It's okay.
The financial crisis that you mentioned about, was it the same time when you had no work?
Of course, that was a time when I had no work, but I had to still sustain. I had to be there for my family. I had to be there for myself. And but I don't really talk about it because I don't think anybody is interested in knowing कि क्या हुआ था.
Yeah.
People are just happy about the fact that the show is running. I'm playing Virat. That's it. So I don't really talk about my problems in that sense. है तो है अब ठीक है था एक period था गया. Hopefully आगे ना आए.
For you, the show has been more than just a show. You found the love of your life on the sets here.
Yeah.
But जैसे आपने पहले बोला कि initially when the show started, you and Aishwarya were not really in the same scene, shooting differently. How did this love story bloom then?
एकदम initially yes we were together because हम लोग साथ में shoot कर रहे थे. That's how the story was written. And after that जब गढ़चिरौली का track आया था and everything, so although हम लोग same compound पे shoot करते थे लेकिन same set पे shoot नहीं कर रहे. तो and Paki was more or so in the Chavan Nivas wala set, and I was either in the hospital or the police station or somewhere outdoor. तो मतलब मैं बाहर ही रहता था शूट करने के लिए. मैं बस इतना करता था कि लंच के लिए इधर आ जाता था, and we used to have lunch together. So that was that. But initially जो हमने mock shoot किया था, and उस वक्त से लेके जो shoot में हम मिलते रहे, we spent time. I think that's when we clicked and things moved forward from there.
But anybody who follows you both on social media knows that Aishwarya loves posting reels, funny videos. Yes. And you, on the contrary, doesn't like as much. Is she pushing you to post more on social media?
Never. She's not pushing me. She's encouraging me.
Yes.
So, and like a lot of fans, they keep requesting me to be more active on social media. I'm a very moody person when it comes to social media. So, social media is like a tool for me. I won't say I'm too reserved when it comes to social media. I do post. Like if I'm in the mood, I'll post like for the next 3 days. I'll keep posting. But suddenly there'll be a lull. I'll not post anything. And for me, it's more like like photos or videos. But then reels is a newer concept for me. I wouldn't go out of the way to shoot something and post. But Aishwarya is someone who uski wo personality hai. She's a funny person.
Yes.
She's a very, very funny person. Amazing energy. Like everybody on the set feels that she's like this ball of energy. And हमारे सेट पे अभी 2 बच्चे हैं, लेकिन वो तीसरी बच्ची है सेट पे. तो मतलब वो इतनी she's like a child.
So all ideas are hers. Instagram reels.
Yeah, I mean the audios are her choice. Like we should do something on this, you know. I'm like, okay, then I listen to it. Then we collaborate. Like if I'm a part of it, then yes, then we'll collaborate. Then हम लोग मस्ती से करते हैं उसको. But then I don't really go out of my way to shoot something and post it. But she encourages me a lot.
Before we wrap up, we have a small game for you.
All right.
It's never have I ever. Oh. So I'll ask you certain things.
Please pardon me if I'm not that fast to answer because...
Yeah, that's completely fine. Lied to Aishwarya.
Lied to Aishwarya? I don't
Regarding
lie.
anything?
छोटा-मोटा white lies, yeah. इधर उसके भलाई के लिए, yes.
Complimented her just for the sake of complimenting.
Never.
Lied to the production and have come late on the set.
No. My production is very, very... You also know they are very, very accommodating.
Caught by cops after partying.
After partying? Never.
You're not a party person.
I'm not a party person so much. I mean, I do go to house parties, but never been caught by anything by a cop.
Proposed somebody in school but got rejected?
No.
No? You never proposed anybody in school?
No. In fact, Smart Jodi was the first time I actually proposed. Smart Jodi that we did for Star Plus. Even to Aishwarya, I had not proposed.
What?
So after our marriage, I proposed on stage.
But then, usse pehle?
So it was never a proposal. It was... we both knew that what we feel for each other.
कहने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ी.
कहने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ी. And although we may seem very... you know, how do I say this? Mastikhor.
Yeah.
Or someone, or 2 people who are very fun-loving and everything. We are that. But when it comes to these things, they're a little reserved.
Yeah.
So I never proposed to her. In fact, the first thing I told her was, you know what is there between us. But at this point of time in my life, I don't want to waste time, neither yours nor mine. And what I'm looking for is marriage. So this is my trajectory.
Yeah.
If that's not in your mind, then let's not waste each other's time. I didn't even say, I like you, do you like me? Nothing. I know what is there. Even you know what is there. Marriage is on my mind. What is in yours? That was the conversation.
Lastly, had a crush on somebody but was bro-zoned?
No.
No?
No.
Like college, school? Kabhi?
Never.
Never? Thank you so much, Neil, for joining us. It was wonderful talking to you. Your show is on the top of the TRP charts and I hope it will continue. All the very best.
Thank you so much, Chirag. It was a pleasure talking to you. And a wonderful set of questions. And thank you for all the wishes for our show. It's doing well and we'll work hard so that the audience gets to enjoy and be entertained the way they have been since the past 2 years. I hope there are many more.
Yeah.
And we'll try to make sure you guys are entertained. Thank you so much. Hi guys, this is Neil Bhatt. You're watching me on News 18 Showsha. Like, share and subscribe.